Hello, so I'm Harry. I'm a conservation ecologist at Essex Wildlife Trust. So my job is to travel around the reserves and monitor them really, and try and assess how they're doing, what species we have, and are they in the best condition that they can be. So today we are at Finger in Hoe Wick Nature Discovery Park, and we're conducting a winter wetland bird survey in the coastal area. So we're really interested in the birds that use this area in the winter for feeding and for roosting, that then some of them stay, but a lot of them are going to move off again, and they're going to head all over Europe really, all the way to northern Russia, to Iceland, all over. Winter wetland bird surveys start in October, and then we do one count a month all the way through to March, because that covers the winter period. So birds come here, and they come sometimes in their thousands, depending on the species. So on a good day, we can count incredible numbers of birds that use the marshes here. So today, as it's the last count of the season, we tend to see numbers start to drop. So some species that we did have thousands of last month, the month before, we only had a few today. But what we did have, which was really exceptional, were the black-tailed godwits that came in, and we had 730 black-tailed godwits today, which was the highest we've ever counted at the reserve actually. And these birds are really special because they're all gathering again. They're all molting their plumage, so they have completely different plumages depending on the time of year. So in the winter they're kind of this grey colour, but then in the summer they turn into this lovely rusty orange. And today the birds were every single variation of that as they're changing their plumage, and they're all gathering, and they're ready to go back to Iceland soon, where they're going to breed. So it's incredible to know that we've got birds that breed in Iceland, yet they're just here on the Essex coast. We conduct winter wetland bird surveys to know how many birds we have of different species, but also to know where they are on the reserves. And we can do that across the 6 months of the season. So we start to build up a picture for the year, but then because we do this year on year, we start to understand how does it change over the years. And then we can start to see, are the numbers going up of a given species? Are the numbers going down? Are they using different parts of the reserve in different ways? So these are all the data that we can understand from doing the surveys. And as well, we've got volunteers, we've got land managers that are managing the reserves. So when we change how we might manage the reserve, does it change the species that we might find? So we started our count at Margaret's Hide, which I think is probably one of the best hides to see wetland birds in Essex. But you need to be there at a very restricted time. It's about 2 hours before or 2 hours after high tide. That time zone is exceptional because all the birds just get pushed right up towards the hide, and then you can get a whole mix. But then once the tide gets too high, they're gone again. So as we come to the end of our winter wetland bird surveys, we're moving on to our breeding bird surveys. And we know that winter is ending and spring has begun because we've already started to hear the first migrants coming. So chiff-chaffs have already started calling. So we know in the next few weeks we'll start to hear more birds, like the nightingales start to come through. And yeah, so that'll be really early mornings for me now.